Great to see you again via YouTube for our third math lesson online. I just want to make sure that you know that today we're talking about packet assignments 3, 4, and 5 today. So if you have your packet with you, you can follow along. I'm not answering the questions, but I am giving you the information you'll need. Before we get started, though, I do want to give some shout outs. We have some people working really hard on Khan Academy, other ways growing their brains. Bringing up the front, we have Deasia, who's made the most time learning on Khan Academy, followed closely by Alasia, Jana, Ashmita, and Jonthany. Catching up, we have Analia and Krisha Lee's on the list too, and Quentin's getting up there as well. So great job to you guys growing your brains, knowing that nothing can stop you from achieving your dreams as long as you're working, even when things are hard like right now. So today, I'm going to talk about how we keep learning, especially as the weekend's coming up. I won't be posting any videos this weekend until next week. And then, again, what the information is on the lessons. So if you have your packet, in the packets there's 3 parts. The first part is your problem solving task. That's the problem solving class we would have anyways at school. That's what we're going to be doing on the YouTube videos, going over the new information. You also have a slate math paper. Those slate math papers, if you've been seeing on Google Classroom, I'd rather you not do the slate math papers and do what we call Amplify lessons. This is a new program I've never used before, but I've been spending a lot of time looking up best ways for you to learn. And it seems really great. There's stories, you're breaking up fractions, it's working with the fractions like a real world problem instead of just doing the same kind of questions over and over again. It's what I'd be trying to do if we were in school. I haven't tried it on a tablet or a phone. I really hope you can. The instructions are in Google Classroom. The Google Classroom link is below in the description. You can click on there. It tells you how to sign in and how to do it. I can monitor your progress. There are 3 levels. If you're not sure what level to be on, you can ask me, or you should probably start in the first level. I started the first level, and it went really fast for me because it was basic fraction facts. Second level is going through adding and subtracting, but with mixed numbers and all the other things too. And the third level is the hardest one. That's where we get into division with fractions, multiplying with fractions, and the kind of situations we have. So I recommend starting at the first level, just move through it as quickly as you can. Or if you want to, you can start at the second or third level if you feel like you're really ready for that point. Again, that's Amplify. It's my.amplify.com. It's on the Google Classroom. It's posted there. So you have a new hat today. The new hat, you can vote which hat do you want me to wear to the first lesson back when we come back to school. It also is convenient because since all the barbershops are closed, my hair is getting really long and out of control. Now I have Alex to help me take care of my hair. Alex, I miss you. Hopefully I'll see you soon. For now, though, let's start talking about polygons. So a polygon is a shape with straight sides, no openings, and it's only 2-dimensional. If you've been in any of my Zoom lessons, you've seen this already, but it's the same information. Just put it here. You can pause the video if you ever want to write these definitions down. These lessons, you just kind of need to know the words. There's no other way around it. Again, a polygon is straight sides, no openings, and is 2-dimensional. So here's some examples of things that are polygons. Those are not polygons. And you can see this one is 3-dimensional. That one has open sides, and this one is round. That's the three different kind of violations you can have. Our unit is going to be all about polygons. So everything we're going to talk about is in this group. Okay? And that first lesson about polygons in there, you should be able to fly through. Just tell me which ones are polygons, which ones are not. If you're stuck at all, you can definitely message me, comment below, or just text me on my phone or on Google Classroom. Polygons. The first kind of polygon we're going to talk about, quadrilaterals. A quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides. So it has to be a polygon and it has to have 4 sides. If it has both of those, no matter what, it is a quadrilateral. You're going to see there's lots of kinds of quadrilaterals, but they all have 4 sides and they're all polygons. So we have examples of things that are quadrilaterals, and these are not. You can see this one is not, even though it has 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, it doesn't have another line over here closing it up, so it's not a polygon. If it's not a polygon, it can't be a quadrilateral. This one is a cube, but it has 4 sides, but it's 3-dimensional, so it's actually not a polygon, and it cannot be a quadrilateral. The word quad, the prefix quad means 4, so you can see a box it here. Quad means 4. Anything that you see like a quad, it's going to have 4 sides or 4 something in it. Quadrilaterals, a type of polygon. The rest of this lesson, and honestly the rest of the coming lessons, is going to be going into quadrilaterals and figuring out all the ways we can work with them and the ways we can break them into groups and decide what the name of a shape is, because it's not as simple as seeing a square and just saying, oh, that's a square. I know you can do that. I can do that too. But we're going to ask questions that ask you to think about them differently. And to really understand what we're working with, you have to understand this idea of a hierarchy. This is another vocab word you're going to see. So a hierarchy is a system that got cut off there, a system with levels to keep things organized. So a hierarchy, usually it's leveled, like the top level, second level, third level down. To give you an idea of how a hierarchy works, I made one that was something more uh, common and easy to see. So here's a hierarchy of vehicles. From the top, this is the first level. The first level is the biggest level. It has the most things in it. Everything in this category is everything in the other categories below it is also in this category. All of these things down here are vehicles. That's the biggest level in the hierarchy. So vehicles, you can see, is broken into three groups. So a motorcycle, motorcycles, cars, and trucks. All of those are vehicles. So you can call it a car. You could say it's a vehicle. Yep. You could also say it's a car. In a hierarchy, both of these words can describe that object. You can go down to the next level, the third level in the hierarchy. We can see sports cars. Sports cars are a type of car, which is a type of vehicle. So I could describe that as a vehicle, a car, or most specifically, you could say, the most specific way to describe that is a sports car. You get more and more specific down the hierarchy. Everything that's true right here. So if you see a sports car down here, everything that's connected above it is also true about it. Down here, I see a pickup. A pickup is also a truck. A truck is also a vehicle. The hierarchy goes from most specific down here to least specific up here. If you think of a vehicle, you might not think of a pickup truck, but a pickup truck is a vehicle. You can also say that's what the trickiest parts of this is, when you say something like a vehicle is not always a sports car, but all sports cars are vehicles. Okay, so this is the least specific. So you can say not everything in this group is going to be in that group, but everything here is part of that big, large group at the top. That's going to be the hardest thing for you to get your head around as we go through this. But again, thinking with the levels, the most specific and least specific will help you through that. So we're going to go into this with shapes now. Now that we know what a hierarchy is, we can move into a hierarchy of shapes. And remember, this is just levels of shapes that help us keep them organized based upon what's true about them. So here is our hierarchy so far. This is what we're going to learn about today. So we've already seen, we haven't talked about what shapes are. I think that's more of a second, third grade lesson. So we're moving on to all shapes. Out of shapes, they can be polygons or non-polygons. We already went over how to tell if it's a polygon. So all polygons are also shapes. So we have below polygons, we can break them up into other groups too, because you can have different types of polygons. Again, we're getting more specific as we get down. So polygons, we can be triangles or quadrilaterals. We've talked a lot about triangles. We're going to start talking about quadrilaterals today. There are other kinds of polygons too. We're not going to talk about them though, like things like pentagons, hexagons, octagons, nonagons. You can go on and on, a lot of different kinds of polygons. We're focusing on just these two. We've already talked about triangles, and now we're moving to quadrilaterals. Remember, this is more specific, less specific. All quadrilaterals are also polygons. All polygons are also shapes. So let's go into our quadrilateral hierarchy. This sheet has a lot of information, so you might want to pause it and get it down. This is kind of how it appears in your packet. It has quadrilaterals, and it says right here, we break up quadrilaterals and we organize them based upon how many parallel sides they have. So we have three different kinds of quadrilaterals. All of them are polygons. All of them are shapes. Our first kind of quadrilateral, again, is broken up based upon the number of parallel sides. It's called a parallelogram. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral with two sets of parallel sides. That means the side on the top and the bottom are parallel, and the two sides on the other sides are parallel too. Or if it's turned this way like a diamond, you can see that just the ones on opposite sides of each other are parallel. Somebody might say to me, Mr. B, well, that one's a rectangle. You're getting ahead of me. Rectangle's not one of the groups we talked about yet. You're getting more specific. We're not that specific yet. We're just talking about parallelograms. We will break them up later into smaller groups. For now, anything with two sets of parallel sides with four sides is a parallelogram. Trapezoids have fewer sets. They only have one set, not two, one or two, just one set of parallel sides. So usually that means the top. Okay, Google, stop. Nice, Google. It's time for nap time to be over. Better wrap this up. We have one set on this side and this side are both parallel, or the top and the bottom are both parallel. But it's only one set. The other sides are not parallel. That makes it a trapezoid. It has to have four sides though, because it's also a quadrilateral. The final group are kites. We don't talk about kites a lot. They often look like a kite, but that's not what makes them special. What makes them special is they have zero sets of parallel sides. So no side is parallel to another. It might be close, but they're not. So you can see down here, they don't always look like kites either. This one has four sides. None of them are parallel. So three main types of quadrilaterals: parallelograms, trapezoids, and kites. We're getting more and more specific here. All parallelograms are also quadrilaterals. All quadrilaterals are also polygons. That's our hierarchy so far. The thing about a hierarchy is that you can use a lot of words to describe one shape. So for example, I have these shapes on here. Let's look at the first one here. We've already done our triangle lesson. So what are the words you can use to describe this? There's actually a number. You could say this is a polygon because it has all things that about a polygon are true with it. You get more specific and say, well, it's also a triangle. But then you could get more specific in two ways. You could say it's an equilateral triangle. All sides are equal. You could also say it's an acute triangle because all of the angles are acute. So all of those words can be used to describe one shape. The least specific being polygon, the most specific being equilateral acute because it's equilateral lines and acute angles. This shape, take a second, think about all the words that you can use to describe this shape. The least specific word would be a polygon because it has all the straight sides, or even you could say shape, but polygon is the least specific math word we're using now. Getting more specific is that it's four sides, so it's also a quadrilateral. And then the most specific is a trapezoid. It has only one set of parallel sides. The top and the bottom are parallel, but the other sides are not. To our next shape, it's a lot like this one. It's a polygon, it's a quadrilateral, but it has the tops parallel and the sides are parallel. So it's also a parallelogram. There are more specific words we can use to talk about it. We're not doing that now. Down here, this one has four sides, so it's quadrilateral. It's a polygon, but no sides are parallel. So the most specific word would be a kite. All of these words can describe each shape, but it's asking for the most specific. You got to go down your hierarchy, down to the most specific with the most specific descriptions. But it doesn't mean it's not a polygon. It just means that most specifically, it is a kite. I've gone back and updated my hierarchy to include all the shapes we've talked about now. So we went into shapes, polygons. Last lesson we did triangles. Now we're doing quadrilaterals. So here's our quadrilaterals broken into three groups below. Remember I said the tricky part, remembering that a pickup truck, all pickup trucks are vehicles, but not all vehicles are pickup trucks? That's where this gets a little tricky. In this we can see all trapezoids are polygons because they have to be, everything in this group is also in this group. But not all polygons are trapezoids. Some polygons are triangles, some polygons are parallelograms. But if you're in this group right here, polygons, they could be many different groups they've broken into, but this trapezoid one is made up of all the groups that are connected above it. You can kind of follow the lines back up the hierarchy, and as you go up from trapezoids, everything that's true about it is also true about the shape above it. So all trapezoids must be quadrilaterals and polygons and shapes. That'll hopefully answer some of those questions in those packets and make sure you know what you need to do for those. And I've been told my videos aren't cringy enough, so I'm going to ask you now to smash that subscribe button and like the video or comment below. Check out the description for more information, add a comment if you need to, and ask questions as you need to. See you next week.